Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the February 27, 2025 Board of Selectmen meeting. And as always, we'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance to be followed by a moment of silence for Bob McKnight. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. If we could please just remain standing to acknowledge the passing of Bob McKnight, who was a longtime RTM member, a Vietnam veteran, person who volunteered a lot and with the Byron Neighborhood Association and other groups and endeavors in town, and just a great guy, and we'll certainly miss Bob. Thank you. Alrighty, is there a motion to approve the minutes of February 13th, 2025?
Lauren Rabin, so moved.
Janet Stone McWigan, I second.
All those in favor, Fred Camello's a yes.
Lauren Rabin, yes.
Janet Stone McWigan, yes.
Thank you. And is there a motion to approve the minutes of the special meeting of February 13th, 2025?
Lauren Rabin, so moved.
Janet Stone McWigan, I second.
All those in favor, Fred Camello's a yes.
Lauren Rabin, yes.
Janet Stone McWigan, yes.
Thank you. I'll go right on to the first Selectmen's updates. We just had a moment of silence for Bob, and his wake is on the 3rd, which is Monday, 4 to 8 at Knapp's Funeral Home. And that Knapp's Funeral Home merged with Cox and Graziano in Chickahominy, so it'll be on Hamilton Avenue. And then there will be a graveside service on March 4th at 10:30 at Putnam Cemetery. So if you are intended to go, just to mark those dates and times on your calendar. Congratulations to Thomas from IT. He is our Employee of the Month. Does a great job. If you haven't met Thomas, he's super helpful, and we look forward to many more years of his service. And speaking of which, we want to wish Paul Henlicky, who's been here for about 30 years. It doesn't look like it because he looks like he's 30.
I know. Jeez.
Paul is moving, and we're really going to miss him. His number won't change, so we can certainly call him if there's an issue, but I don't think there will be. He's just a terrific guy, Greenwich guy, and he's been a great help personally to me a lot. I remember during the pandemic being here on a Sunday, and it would be just he and I, and he'd come down there and help me with something and just talk, and then would be on his way. Just a terrific person, so we wish him well and his family. We had a really good first meeting of the America 250 committee. Lots of knowledge on that committee. There'll be a celebration next year, so we wanted to get a lot of people who have, institutional knowledge of the town and represent organizations. So those meetings are open too, so people can come there if they want to join in and add something to it. But it was very good. We also had a terrific meeting with the Historic District Commission about the Veterans Plaza Park project. We have scheduled 2 site visits planned in March on the 11th and the 12th. We had 2 really good ideas that we're going to try and incorporate into the design. And I want to thank John Conti and Scott France for being there with me to present. Also, speaking of veterans, I met with a Marine Corps vet here in town, and who is going to try and get me to do a Spartan race in a few weeks, but that's not why I bring it up. I mentioned the fact that we used to have a Veterans Council here, and we have several organizations, but they don't seem to be, they do things different, they have their own events. I don't think they talk to each other very often because they're busy and have other things. So I wanted to see if the idea of putting together a council, just to have a monthly or quarterly meeting so they can, bounce things off each other, keep each other abreast, and he liked the idea. So we're going to continue to explore that. I think it's just something that will give them, I think, a little bit more awareness and ability to reach the public. Congratulations to Father Carl McIntosh of St. Roch's retired. We had a thing for him at the George restaurant the other day on Sunday, and he's still staying in town, so we're very happy about that. So we wish him well in retirement, and welcome Father Lennox, who was visited the other day at Town Hall. Real good guy from Trumbull, Connecticut. So we wish him well in his new post at St. Roch's. We have a grand opening tonight at 5:30. I don't know how to say it, Havyn, Havyn. It's a female-owned business here in town at the Hyatt Regency. So if you're around for that, should be a nice event. Tomorrow, we're going to be handing out certificates to the Greenwich High School championship teams at 3:30, I believe, at the high school. So hope to see everybody there. GEMS has their event at 6 o'clock tomorrow night. March 3rd, the Red Cross will have a proclamation and flag raising at 9. Also on the 3rd, you may want to put this one down. At 1 o'clock, we're going to do the ribbon cutting for Dominic's Pizza in Byram. Dom Pisano, who grew up in Coscob, is opening it up, and it's not just pizza. There's some other things there that people seem to like a lot. So I stopped in there, had a couple slices the other day, and it was really good. So we wish Dom well, and we'll see him on the 3rd. On the 5th, the Women Who Inspire Awards at Greenwich Country Club last year. I think Lauren was one of the honorees, and that's at 5:30, I believe. And on March 8th, Knights of Columbus will be having a dinner in honor of Father Murphy, who's our Grand Marshal this year for the St. Patrick's Day Parade. We're all going to be there on the 23rd. It's 6 days after St. Pat's Day, but hopefully the weather will be really nice for that. March 1st, Saturday, our friend Tom McKinney will be doing another cleanup at Greenwich High School. Cleanest grounds around in the state, thanks to Thomas and Greenwich Green and Clean, everybody that helps him with that. So thank you, and we'll see you there, and I'll turn it over to Lauren.
Thanks, Fred. Hi, everyone. Yeah, just with the passing of Bob McKnight, just reminds me and probably all of us that we just don't know when our time is up. We just met with him. We worked really closely, the Selectmen's Nomination Advisory Committee worked closely with Bob and Jude because Bob was the chair of the Appointments Committee. So a lot of our nominations go to the RTM for appointment. So he certainly will be missed. Last week, I got the chance to go to the Wallace Center and see some initial plans for reimagining the space to make it more accommodating and cheerful and welcoming for our older population and more useful for the programming that the Wallace Center is offering. It's being paid for primarily by private donations. So it'll be exciting to see how it unfolds. Of course, there's a lot of things to think about, the building in and of itself, what's the any issues that might impact the renovation. So that's a dialogue that's happening within the town. Also, last week went to WestCog's meeting. I'm usually the person that represents the CEO, the chief elected official at WestCog, the 17 municipalities. And a couple of things that I just wanted to highlight. Jim Michael was also there in attendance because the town asked for an additional allocation from the Lot SIP program for the North Street Bridge. So we asked for an additional $461,200 to approve to make sure that we can start that construction in the summer of 2025. And it was approved. So now we will be getting a total of $3.85 million to complete that bridge work. Another thing that just keeping people abreast of is WestCog hired a consultant to help all the municipalities with reviewing our ADA transition plans. And Greenwich is scheduled to go through our review in the summer of 2025.
Thank you. Thank you, Lauren. And Lauren and Janet always remind me that I forget things. And I'm sure after you're done, I'll remember 2 other things. Monday night, I spoke before the BET, and they approved the grant for possibly 159 repetitive loss properties that WestCog had recognized. And that's a big thing. 2 of the families were here. And it won't cost the taxpayers anything. These are grants to help, in some cases, lift the houses up. And I could tell you, those two houses, especially one of them, there's nothing they can do when it rains. Their water goes into their garage and sometimes up the stairs a little bit. It's horrible. So this was great news for them, and very, very happy for them, because we're really running out of things to do there for these properties. And also, right after the same time, we went up to the health department and the health board, and we got an unanimous vote for the dog park. So it's on to P&Z there. So that will be in Byram. So that was unanimous. It was great. And while we were there, two residents of Riverside wanted to know why Riverside wasn't considered. So we're going to be looking at ones in Riverside. So we're very happy about that. And it's your neck of the woods, so maybe you could help with that. Good morning, Janet.
Good morning. So thank you. I'm just going to echo my colleagues' sentiments that Bob McKnight's service to both this country and this town were truly inspirational, and he will surely be missed. Fred, thank you for highlighting the Haven event. I just want to kind of pile on here and say it is a woman-led B Corp, so we are definitely in support of this kind of
I was going to say
organization.
that. I was testing you to see if you were paying attention.
There you go. So I'll keep it short and sweet. Tonight, there is a pollinator potluck at Greenwich Audubon that I'm looking forward to. The title of the event is Green Energy, a Win for the Birds. And this Sunday at 2 o'clock is the Fred Elser First Sunday Lecture at Innisarden Cottage at Greenwich Point. And again, the theme of that talk will be climate change in Connecticut. And I'll keep it short and stop there.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Lots of green news there, which is good. Okay, going on to old business, we just have one item, which is a request to raise commemorative flag for the National Vietnam War Veterans Day on March 23rd. Our friend Roy is here. We haven't heard anything back from anybody, which is always good news. So I don't think my colleagues have, so we can entertain a motion to put that on the list.
Lauren Rabin, I move that we approve the request to raise the commemorative flag for National Vietnam War Veterans Day, on March 29th.
Janet Stone McWigan, I second.
All those in favor, Fred Camillo's a yes.
Lauren Rabin, yes.
Janet Stone McWigan, yes.
Thank you so much. And Roy, we'll circle back on a time for that.
Roy and I are going to work on it.
Okay, perfect. Thanks. And we still have some time. We'll get the notice out. Okay. Yes. Our pleasure. Thank you, Roy. Good to see you. Going on to new business, we have the request for the approval, first read, of the 2025 outdoor dining guidelines. And Kate Bush, our town administrator and COO, is here. Good morning, Kate.
Good morning. Just want to point out to you that we have made a couple of recommended changes in the guidelines. One is to shorten the season a bit, with it beginning right before Memorial Day and ending mid-October. And the other is to increase the cost per for the barriers, to recognize the cost that the town incurs to put them in place. We have not proposed going up to the full cost at this time, because that would be a significant jump. So we're trying to do that in phases. Other than that, happy to answer any questions you have.
Thanks, Kate. Yeah, so that briefly, if somebody was in here in 2020, the outdoor dining was something the town had talked about for a while, and we saw an opportunity during the COVID crisis, and we did that. In the first year, because we really didn't know what was going on, it was for free. And then the next year, we started charging the businesses that wanted to go outside 25%, and then it went up to 100%. We also increased the fees on the barriers in the subsequent years. And as Kate was alluding to, the first year it was all year round because it was the COVID crisis and people would not go inside. And then we had it towards the end of November, and then we pushed it up a little bit more, and we're pushing up a little bit more. We found that in the last few years, people love it, but as soon as November hits, we don't see as much usage of it. if something changes and it's a very warm fall, we may get people asking next year to amend it again, which is fine. But I think we said we would monitor it every year, and this is just in keeping with, in the spirit of that. So thank you, and we'll certainly be on the lookout. There's not a time sensitivity with this. We could wait 2 weeks.
Oh, absolutely, because the season wouldn't be until May.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Questions? So one of the things I did notice, because of the reduced amount of days, that the actual cost to the restaurateur is less, because they're not paying as much for the parking stalls, even though they
Exactly.
might be paying more for the barriers.
Right.
The overall cost of participation
Is less.
is less.
Yes.
And it doesn't seem like anything changed, because I know another thing is, there was a concern that occupancy would increase, like giving them more opportunity to, serve food. So they still have the
It's-
same occupancy regardless.
Yes.
They can't fully seat outside and inside. It's the same number of what they would have been able to seat inside, the combination of inside, outside.
Right. And these proposed changes don't impact the rights they already have to sidewalk dining.
Got it. I'm just going to add on to that. So the occupancy is determined by the Board of Health, Department of Health. That's that permit, not this forum.
Correct.
Yeah,
Have you?
That was my only.
Right, because if they're, like, say they have 50 seats now inside, they can only have 50 total inside and outside.
and it's still an attraction for them, as all the restaurateurs will tell you, that having that option does help bring people there. And you're right, the sidewalk, they can go out there now, as long as they leave room for people to pass through. We have to always remind people that. But, yeah, that's keeping what we've been doing.
This isn't a question, but last year we did the contest for people to design the
wraps.
the wraps, and really moved away, just for the public audience, because to install them, to the longevity of them, and what was settled on, and I think we still need to get a cost to find out if we want to do this, because it could be paid for by private funds, with some sort of like wooden flower boxy things, is what we all agreed to would be the easiest for DPW and consistency, and not a distraction, because some of the stuff was kind of very colorful, which was pretty, but if you think about driving down Greenwich Avenue and all the distraction there is in general, not to add to it. So I think we could still look into that as an option, because I'm sure people are going to very shortly say that the concrete barriers are ugly, and what are we doing about it?
And John Conti, who's a landscape architect here in town, who's helping us with several projects, including Veterans Plaza Park, mentioned this, and to Lauren's point, he loved that idea, and he would willing to help with that designs too. So I think that's something we should really focus on this year. If we can do that, it would really enhance the aesthetics of the avenue.
So I'm just going to say thank you for your patience. I always have a lot of questions, and like Fred, I would just like to, for our audience, like to provide a little bit of context, which is I'm definitely a supporter of outdoor dining. I think that it is a service to this town, but we have to acknowledge there are people who love it, there are people who hate it, there are people who are indifferent to it. And every year we're always what we're trying to do is we're trying to find a balance, right? Because we want outdoor dining. At the same time, we need parking. We want to be fair to both the restaurants and the other businesses on Greenwich Avenue. And, let's just put it out there. We don't want to kill the golden goose. We don't want to provide so much outdoor dining that there isn't parking to then allow for diners to access these restaurants. So we're always trying to find a balance. I'm an economist at heart, and by education as well. I'm not looking at outdoor dining to be a revenue generator for the town, but I do want to get it priced right so that we know that we've got the right amount of dining. And I think in the past we've pointed out that we're actually underpricing. The fact that we're only charging restaurants the foregone parking meter fees. That definitely is not market value of what these areas are worth to the restaurants. So we're trying to get it right. And I think, as Fred pointed out, we've kind of incrementally shortened the season. I think this is an iterative process, right? We're trying to figure out from one season to the next what the right answer is. So with that, I'm just going to say thank you for all the work that has gone into this. I know that it's quite the exercise every year. I do wonder if we increased the cost of the linear barriers if we just went right to 37, which you said that's the actual cost.
47.
Oh, 47. Oh, okay, I misread it. How big a jump would that be per stall, or I should say per restaurant?
It'd be another $12 over what we're proposing now, so it depends on how many stalls they used. I can do the math for you and get back to you.
Yeah, but I mean, because we're talking about a couple $100s, right? $12 per foot.
I was looking at percentage-wise, it was a big number. Because from the 29 that it was, that would be, it'd be 22, so it'd be almost a 100% increase.
29 to 47, but that part of the fee is only a small portion of the fee. So it wouldn't knock the fee up that big of a percentage. I'm just wondering, do we really need to do it incrementally? Can we just say this is the real cost? Again, I'm
Happy to do that.
I'm the economist at heart, and I would rather, present the real costs to the restaurant so that they know, they make a decision based on real costs.
If that's what the board wants, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, Janet is right. She brings up a great point. I mean, I personally love it. We did put out a survey. We came back overwhelmingly supportive of this. And if you go down the avenue, you see how it livened the avenue up. So, but there's always going to be people that don't like it, and you're never going to get 100% support on anything. But it's going in the right direction. It's a challenge because, as Janet said, you don't want to kill it where you make it too, cost prohibitive where they won't do it. And then people are going to be really upset. So we've been really trying to strike a balance to being fair to everybody. I do know that a lot of the merchants, there was one that was very upset, but a lot of the merchants do like it because it does bring foot traffic there. But it's a balance, and it's not only the price, it's, finding more and more parking, which we've been doing for 6 years, and but it's always going to be a challenge. So I guess it's a good problem to have. It means there's a lot of economic activity there and fun and entertainment, but it's a constant thing where we're trying to each year make it a little bit better. And I think it's very, very good to bring up and I think warranted. So yeah, I think anything we can do, again, we can revisit it if we all feel that it's pushing it too far where it may hurt the restaurants, then obviously we wouldn't do it. But it's good to have these numbers there so we can base it on fact.
And I don't think it's going to make that big of a difference. I know the jump from 29 to 47 almost doubles, but in the total cost, it's probably only going to be a couple $100s to each restaurant.
I can do the math for you and show you at the
Awesome.
next read.
Thank you.
And then
you.
I want to thank Jim Michael and Patrick LaRoe for their assistance in this.
Yes. Thank you. Yeah, I haven't had enough coffee to do the math in my head. So if you could bring the numbers, I'm like my colleagues here. I don't know necessarily where I would land, but I would just like to know all the numbers.
My two colleagues are numbers people. I'm not. Someone once told me my math ain't mathin', so I stick with more of an English person.
Since this is a second read, don't forget the meeting is on March 10th, Monday, instead of the usual Thursday, March 13th.
Okay, so we'll
Zoom only.
I know it's going to be in person and Zoom.
Okay.
We're able to get the meeting.
Okay.
perfect. Okay, thank you. All right, there's no more items on the agenda. Did we?
Yes, we have nominations.
We have nominations.
Just trying to see, is that what's next?
While you're doing that,
I missed my paper.
did we have anybody that signed up? We had, Okay, if somebody signed up and they can stick to what it is they signed up, they're allowed to take the microphone right now. Did you want to speak?
Yeah, it's David Wold. I would just like to thank the select people for finally approving the Vietnam Memorial flag raising. It's been on the agenda for the last 2 years. Secondly,
It's the first time we've seen it, sir. I have not seen, we haven't voted on it before, so it's not, has not been, but go ahead. Continue.
record show.
Continue, please.
Secondly, I've submitted a request in connection with your announcement on veterans celebrations coming up now in April and onwards. And I was wondering about the Merchant Marine from war efforts. They were very much involved in Vietnam, Korea, Second World War, etc. And they were recognized in going back to the Civil War, I think, as part of the war.
What day is that?
No, you're having at the high school?
Yeah, what month, I mean, what are we talking about? What? Yeah,
No, we're talking about now recognizing our veterans.
yes.
And
What event are you talking about?
Korea.
Oh, okay, that's gonna be right here.
So my question was, which I sent a couple of weeks ago, was if the Merchant Marine veterans of the Korean War or in similar war, declared war situations, are they recognized as veterans or
All
not?
veterans of the Korean War are welcome to attend and receive commendation.
So the Merchant Marine members too?
Yeah, so
Okay,
they wore the
thank you.
uniform. Yeah.
Well, that's all.
Oh, okay, thank you.
They have to reach out to me to get added to the list now. David? If you know of any, let them know.
Yeah.
Good.
Again, as you know, application for recognizing the Merchant Marines as a veterans group has not been taken up by this board.
There was no need for an application for it. I mean, they were always welcome to be recognized. There was never a restriction on it. There was no need for an application for it. Just, they served during Korea. They are entitled to be part of the ceremony.
Okay, but they're not entitled to have a flag raising.
That's a separate issue.
Okay, I just thought.
Thank you. And, okay, we're good. So appointments and nominations.
Yes. Lauren Raven, I move that we nominate William Finger as a returning member, position R1 to the Affordable Housing Trust with a term expiration of March 31st, 2028.
Janet Stone McWigan, I second.
All those in favor? Fred Camillo is a yes.
Lauren Raven, yes.
Janet Stone McWigan, yes.
Lauren Raven, I move that we nominate Heidi Nolte as a returning member to the Commission on Aging, position R3, for a term expiring June 30th, 2028.
Janet Stone McWigan, I second.
All those in favor? Fred Camillo is a yes.
Lauren Raven, yes.
Janet Stone McWigan, yes.
I thought I did this last meeting, but I didn't. Lauren Raven, I motion that we appoint Laura D. Bonaventura as a returning regular member to the Energy Management Advisory Committee for a term expiring December 31st, 2028.
Janet Stone McWigan, I second.
All those in favor? Fred Camillo is a yes.
Lauren Raven, yes.
Janet Stone McWigan, yes.
And finally, Lauren Raven, I move that we appoint Vincent DeFina as a returning regular member to Greenwich Communities for a term expiring July 31st, 2029.
Janet Stone McWigan, I second.
All those in favor? Fred Camillo is a yes.
Lauren Raven, yes.
Janet Stone McWigan, yes.
Thank you, Lauren, as always. And thank you to those people who were appointed for their service. With that, is there a motion to adjourn?
Lauren Raven, so moved.
Janet Stone McWigan, I second.
All those in favor? Fred Camillo is a yes.
Lauren Raven, yes.
Janet Stone McWigan, yes.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Ken. Thank you, Barbara. Appreciate it. See you soon.